Welcome to the channel. And if you are returning, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button at the bottom. I'm going to try and keep this channel updated at least a couple times a week with content. So, what I want to talk about today is the caliber of salespeople that are manning the phones at the boot companies. Now, I called and talked to a sales representative at one of the boot companies yesterday. It doesn't make a difference which one it is because I feel like it may affect any one of them at any given time. But I had some basic questions about the construction of a boot, and I felt, it's something that they should know. Now, even though I'm in law enforcement now, I don't want to say originally, but my first real career, was in the automotive sector. So I had managed auto service shops, various ones, and part stores. And one of the things that was always impressed upon me and others was to know your product, especially the tire stores. I mean, if you have someone coming in to purchase tires, you need to know what tire goes on what vehicle. I mean, sizes, you can look that stuff up. But as far as which one is best for which vehicle, because some tires will give you a better ride than others, and some with the tread pattern will be less noisy than others. And then you get into the actual tread compound and what's the mileage warranty on it, so on and so forth. And if you don't know that, it's really difficult for you to make a sale because, I mean, it's a pretty big purchase. I got my start in 1995 in the automotive industry. And even back then, a set of 4 tires would run, I mean, for good tires, you'd be looking at $400 to $500, and then upwards of $600. And you'd invariably get the person that would come in that would be driving like a Cadillac Fleetwood, and they'd want the special 4 for $99 deal. I mean, that's just bubble gum on a hoop is all that is. I mean, it's that's not a tire you want to put on a Cadillac. So you had to know what you were talking about. And if you could at least, if you didn't know the answer, if you would tell them, hold on a minute, I'll get that answer for you, that usually would keep them interested enough to where you could close the sale. So anyway, I called and I asked for the sales department. I got a salesperson on the phone, and this salesperson, when I asked them the questions like in regards to the construction, I was led to, well, this person said, hang on a second, I need to look that up. So this person went to the computer and started reading verbatim from the website what it said. I mean, hell, I can do that. That's not what I wanted to know. I wanted, and I'd like to give specifics, but the stuff I was asking about wasn't stuff you would ordinarily ask about, but it was important to me. So, if I tell you what it is, it's gonna reveal who I was, and this person may find out, and I don't want them thinking that I'm, chopping them off at the knees, because that's not it. I mean, I just am because that issue goes to a higher level. That's management. Management should be making sure that these people have the tools that they need to be able to help the customer. You can't just pull some guy off the street or some lady off the street and say, here's a phone. When they call, answer it, and just answer their questions. I mean, you need to train them. They should know the product front and back. Now, maybe the person was new, but this person had many opportunities to tell me that they were new. I'm not going to ask, are you new or something? Because that's offensive. And I didn't want to offend the person. But I really didn't get my question answered. So it was discouraging. Now, when boots cost the amount of money that they do, there's no excuse for not having someone there at the phone that can answer your questions. Or I even asked, can you get someone for me that can answer the question? And I was told to go to the website. I mean, what kind of customer service is that? I mean, I wouldn't have thought of doing that back in the day. Now, that is one of the things that would really get me irritated, and this is more in the parts store. So a farmer would come in, because I'm originally from the Midwest. A farmer would come in, and the farmer would say, well, my tractor is out and I need a relay. And the counter person would say, well, it's not in the computer. Yeah, I mean, computers aren't geared to look up tractors, or at least they weren't back then. I'm like, are you serious? No, what do you think all those books are for that are behind you? I mean, we had a small counter, and it wasn't really that small, that was filled with books where they could look parts up. And sometimes you got to do the work if you want to help the customer out. I mean, they even have pictures in it. So you could literally take a relay and, okay, it's got 4 prongs, or it's got 6 prongs or whatever, and then here's what the number is on the relay. You can go to the crossover section, or you can just match it up by picture. Is it going to take some time? Yeah. That's what you get paid for. So I would say to the boot companies, and again, this is based on one interaction from one boot company, make sure your people are educated. Make sure that your people know your product. I mean, because to me, that is, I mean, it's very discouraging. It's offensive. When you're talking to someone and they tell you to go to the website, and they treat you like you're some sort of simpleton. I mean, most of us guys that buy boots, and listen, this person didn't know how many boots I have. I mean, so to be fair to that person, but you must always assume that this person at least has some knowledge, or at least they could ask the question, well, how much do you know about boots? But with the question that I asked, this person should have known, oh, this guy, probably knows quite a little bit about boots. And let me find out the answer for you. So, I mean, because I'm going to check here and see what the boot prices are today, because it seems like they change daily. I mean, it's like they're tied to the stock market or something. Let's start with NIX. Let's see, a Super Duty, or excuse me, sorry, NIX. A Builder Pro HD quick ship is $664. Now it's just a basic, work boot that is built on, I'm guessing it's built on the 11067 last, which I think is like a 1977 last in francs. I'm guessing that's what that is. If I'm wrong, NIX, let me know. But let's go to, let's see here. Let's check. We'll check francs out. The Type 1 and the Type 2 Commander it looks like are the same price at $635. So, and that's basically the boot looks the same. There are some subtle differences. You can look at my other videos to find out what those are, but let's look at whites. The Smoke Jumper is going to be very similar to that. Going to have the same construction, basically. I need the 409. 409 is 650. Okay, so I mean they're in the ballpark. Let's go to Wesco. I guess the Job Master. It's either the Job Master or the Highliner has the plates and stuff on it, so we won't look at that. We'll look at a Job Master. 550 for a Job Master. And then if we go to JK and their Super Duty is 624. So the only one that seems to be, out of the range, median range or whatever would be Wesco, at 550. But their arch isn't the same as the other ones. I mean, JK, Nix, Franks, Whites, Nix, JK. I mean, they're all within, $25 of one another. So then you just have to break it down to what you're looking for. But that's a lot of money. I mean, let's just say $630. I mean, that's not pocket change for most people nowadays. I mean, with everything increasing, and I realize because everything increases, but so does the price of goods. But listen, our incomes are not increasing, not to the rate of inflation. So, and I know businesses have to stay in business. I mean, I get that, but some of these businesses need to realize that, the economy isn't as rosy as what some people want to portray. I mean, it costs a lot of money. You've been to the grocery store lately? I mean, look at the price of some of this stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous. You take that into consideration of how much it is to live nowadays, and then the boot prices keep going up and going up. And like I said, I do get it. But when you don't have people that can sell your product, that can help the customer make a decision, you're literally sending people to the competitor. So if I call this place and they can't answer my questions and I feel like I've been dismissed, I'm not doing business with you. I'm just not. If you don't have the time to train your people to know your product, then you don't deserve to get my business. That's just my personal feeling. I mean, because I'm taking, my time is worth money. This was basically a wasted call. When I spent probably, I'm going to say 15, maybe 20 minutes on the phone with this person, and the end result was go to the internet. I mean, I could have done that to begin with and got the same information and not waste 20 minutes. Just make sure you're hiring good people. And I know it's hard. I mean, I'm essentially a manager. I'm middle management in my field. And I know hiring people, it's a challenge, but you hire 5 to get one good one. And I don't think that statistic has changed. But that's the nature of doing business. I mean, if you want to be successful, you're going to have to take care of your employees, because if your employees are taken care of, they'll take care of the customers, and it's that important. So, but, that's one of the things, one of the frustrations I guess I wanted to get out there is when you call someone to get more information and get that personal connection with the company, and when that person can't answer, then that's a problem. And it should be addressed accordingly. And like I said, I'm not going to call out the company. It's irrelevant. But, all of them could heed this advice and, make sure that their customers are handled. So I know there's going to be a lot of finger pointing out there. I bet it's this company or I bet it's that company. And, Jack, I'm telling you, it don't make a difference. Okay, so let's not play that game. Let's just make sure that all of our people are trained. I guess the purpose of this was to get people talking and hopefully get some action, get some people some training that should be trained. But if you have any questions, as always, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But thank you for watching.